Max Gomez is here with us to answer some of the more pressing questions. And Doc, let's just start with the fact that this patient could potentially have spread this virus. What are the chances, like we heard from the gentleman we just saw in Andrea's piece there a second ago, by touching a doorknob, anything like that?
Well, here's what we know so far. I just returned from a conference this morning at the NYU Langone Medical Center with many of the world's experts on vaccines and infectious diseases. Everyone I spoke with said essentially the same thing. The chances that Ebola could be spread with casual contact at the bowling alley, in the cab, on his 3-mile run is as close to zero as you can get. And here's why experts say that. Ebola is only transmitted by close contact with bodily fluids. And forgive me for being graphic here, but it's important. Bodily fluids such as blood, vomit, and feces. And all studies show that a patient is not contagious until they develop symptoms, not when they're feeling okay and out and about. In this case, that was yesterday morning when Dr. Spencer developed a fever. He immediately notified authorities.
Doctor, you mentioned bodily fluids, but some may also ask, what about sweat? What about tears? What about mucus?
The only study that I could find about that said that virus can be found in those fluids, but at much, much lower levels than in the other fluids that we're talking about here.
So why is the prevailing theory here that this cannot be spread from an airborne position?
That's important here. Now, the strongest evidence that we have for that is what happened to the close household contacts of Thomas Eric Duncan, the first Dallas Ebola patient. He lived with and had close contact with more than 40 people, including his fiancée, while he was already very sick. Those folks were quarantined for 21 days. It's now been 25 days, and none of those people who were exposed to Duncan's bodily fluids have become ill, and we're well out of the incubation period here.
Dr. Max Gomez, thank you very much.